Hi everybody, this is Joe Contrera and welcome back to the Alive at Work Leadership video blog. Over the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about this process of waking up. One of the key components about waking up and getting conscious is the process of changing your mindset. This week, one of my clients and I were having a conversation about changing their mindset. And he said, "But Joe, how do I change my mindset?" And I said, I don't think that's the question you want to be asking yourself. I think the question to ask yourself is, why do you want to change your mindset? Why do you want to change? We have a tendency to get stuck in the hows and whats of things, whether it's the how and what of a meeting without having a purpose, or the how and what of losing weight or doing anything in our lives. And we don't connect it to, or anchor it, I should say, to a why that is important and meaningful to us. And when that happens, as you go through the process of change, when you're stuck in the how and the what, and not rooted in a why, you so easily get derailed when obstacles or challenges come your way. So, prior to getting into the how do I change, what do I do to change, it's critically important to be crystal clear about why you want that change. Why do you want that change in your life, your job, your career? The second question to ask yourself is, how would your life be different if that change was taking place in your life? How would your relationships, your job, your life be different if you had accomplished that change in your life? It's kind of like looking at the reward or the payoff. So when you're crystal clear about your why, and you're crystal clear in the result that you're trying to achieve or where you're trying to go with it, and how it's going to positively impact your life, then you're more apt to stay the course as you work through this process of change. Now, the third question to ask yourself is, what happens if you don't change? Sometimes when I'm working with a client, a new client, a potential client, and we're discussing some of the challenges or the problems that they're having, and we talk a little bit about the process, but we get to a point where after we've discussed it, we have it all laid out on the table, the question I ask them is this: what happens if you don't change a thing? What happens if you don't invest in a leadership program? What happens if you don't get leadership coaching for any of your leaders or your CEO or your executive? What happens then? And they'll explain it to me, and then I'll ask them this question: are you okay with that? And if they are, then I know, sure enough, that as we work through this process of change, when things do get tough, I don't know if they're going to have the power, the willpower, the willingness to see it through. Which leads me back to you and the question of, what happens if you don't change? And are you okay with that? Because if you are, that's all right. At least be honest with yourself and go, you know what? I'm okay if I don't change. You'll save a lot of time and a lot of energy, especially if you keep finding yourself being derailed. Well, that's all for this week. Until next week, be safe and be well. Thanks for listening.